This computer terminal provides full access to the LCARS computer net.
Welcome to the LCARS ADV Subspace channel. This is the first part in a series of why I pulled the trigger to buy a GPX bike, and maybe you should too, because if you didn't know, GPX bikes are pretty awesome. I make these videos to help guys like me who were hungry for information and media on a bike I was interested in.
Input. More input.
I'm not employed by GPX, not even sponsored, but I would take a free t-shirt. I'm just a regular guy who loves dirt bikes and gives honest opinions on the bikes I ride. Okay, here's why I pulled the trigger on a GPX dirt bike. I needed a dirt bike. I had a list of wants and I was having a hard time finding a bike that would fit the bill. 1, I wanted it to be a great dirt bike and not suck.
You suck, you jackass! Why don't you shut the hell up?
2, I didn't want to rebuild an engine every 100 hours. I wanted Honda-like reliability without all the fuss. 3, I didn't want to pay crap tons of money. 4, the bike had to be street legal in New York so I could ride on the road to the trails. Yep, a pretty tall list, I know. There was no bike like this as far as I could see. The Japanese didn't make any enduro bikes, nor did they make the awesome trail bikes like they used to. The Eurotrash bikes were $12,000, so they were out. And so began my hunt for the unicorn dirt bike.
That I still am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
I began this GPX journey in late 2019.
Before the dark times, before the empire.
I started off with dual sport bikes, owning 2 Honda CRF 250Ls, a Hawk 250, and lastly a new 2019 Suzuki DRZ 400. I mainly bought a DRZ because of Everride's rave reviews of his DRZ 400, as I was quickly running into limitations with the type of riding I was doing with my CRF 250L. I was riding a lot more off-road and I never felt confident on the 250L. It didn't inspire it at all. Then I got the DRZ and that was a huge improvement over the CRF 250L. It was better in every way. I ran the DRZ at an event called the Rockhound in Canada and I did very well and had a blast there. The bike performed great for the double track trails there and mostly flat terrain. Then, beaming with confidence after that event, I entered myself in a local event called the Monkey Butt 100. I found out about 10 minutes in that the DRZ wasn't going to cut it. The trails at this event were all woods, single track, and hill climbs galore. Probably about 20 miles into the event after picking the DRZ up on hill after hill and realizing just how darn heavy this bike was, I was exhausted and done with the ride. The bike wasn't suited for what type of riding I was doing. I needed a bike that was designed for enduro. I needed a real dirt bike. I don't remember how I stumbled upon GPX, but I found a huge thread in the ADV Riders Forum website talking about this China bike called the GPX TSE 250R. It was a 2-stroke. I must have read every page of this thread and watched what little YouTube videos there were on the bike. found the GPX Facebook page and began sifting through that. My interest was piqued. I had a few concerns, ones that anyone would have about a newer brand and especially a China bike. Let's face it, most of those China bikes are junk, so obviously I was hesitant on this GPX brand. My next concern was parts. Would they be available? Then product support. Does GPX stand behind their products? And lastly, but most importantly, is this even a good dirt bike? I didn't want just okay. I wanted it to be great. These are all valid questions which any potential buyer should have before they shell out their hard-earned money, especially on an unknown brand. As I was poring over the GPX Facebook page, I was seeing a common theme. Happy customers. Pretty much everyone loved the bikes. I would ask tons of questions and they were all answered. I reached out to one guy in particular with a lot of questions. He had the TSE and lived in New York like I do. You all know him as Back Out Bob. Yes, the famous once and done winterize your dirt bike with only 1 tank of gas a year, Back Out Bob. He took the time to answer my questions and even would take phone calls about the bike. Back Out Bob was happy with his bike and he probably was the one most responsible for me taking the plunge. Little by little, I was starting to warm up to the idea of buying the TSE 250R. I started rereading all posts and watching more vids and asking more questions, and in the end, what won me over was the GPX community. This GPX Facebook group was and is one of the best groups of people, and everyone was so helpful and honest. I was ready to buy. Almost. Then Gary from GPX posted an end-of-year sale for the 2019s. The price was already pretty good, but the sale price clinched the deal and I nervously clicked the purchase button and ordered the bike right from GPX's website.
Where's that damn torpedo?
It's ready, Jim! Lock and load!
Fire!
To be or not to be.
I got the bike a week later, and now was the test. Does this bike live up to the hype? I took the bike to my local trails and was immediately impressed. The first thing that I noticed was how confidence-inspiring it was. It was like riding a mountain bike, and I could immediately see a massive improvement of my riding with the TSE 250R over my DRZ. The suspension was great, the ergo's perfect, and the engine was fun and playful, yet linear. I loved my new bike. What a relief! The TSE 250R met all my requirements and surpassed my expectations. Fast forward to the future. I bought 2 more bikes from GPX, an FSE 300R and an FSE 250E. No surprise, they also are fantastic bikes. Fingers crossed, I hope to buy a new 300cc 2-stroke as well. From the beginning of this journey, I really just wanted a fantastic dirt bike and not have to pay $12,000 for one. I didn't want an engine that I had to rebuild all the time. I wanted quality. I also wanted support from the manufacturer. It seemed like a tall order and not viable, but honestly, GPX hit all those marks for me and many others. The most important part about owning any dirt bike is the fun factor. GPX bikes are just fun to ride. You work the bike, they don't work you. I think it's great we have so many choices nowadays, but a lot of choices are $12,000 or cheap Chinese junk. And GPX fills that gap for the working class by providing machines for beginner to advanced alike at a price we all can afford, without sacrificing quality. So I'm glad I took a chance on GPX. Yes, it was a gamble, but it was worth it in my opinion. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and stay tuned for more on why I pull the trigger on a GPX dirt bike. And remember, don't be a patak, subscribe and hit that like button. And as always, live long and ride.